With fire season just around the corner, we have information on how to keep your family safe. And a beloved Cal State Fullerton baseball coach throws a curve ball.
Plus, famed student activist gets caught in the act. That's all today on OC News. If you're planning on traveling to Canada, Mexico, or the Caribbean, you might want to consider the new passport regulations that are in effect.
Plus, get the 411 on a new area code coming to town. And looking to have fun on a budget? Well, we'll show you where to get a great meal for a bargain.
The recent wildfires have devastated Southern California, destroying everything in its path.
Stay tuned as we'll give you a sum up of all that happened in the events of this major disaster. This and more on OC News.
Malibu residents hit by devastation once again are forced to battle the new blaze, and pet lovers march for a good cause.
Plus, see how a local middle school took hugging to a whole new level. All that and more next on OC News.
We begin with what made national headlines this week. Wildfires out of control as they took their toll on Southern California, bringing turmoil, frustration, and tragedy. The fires started 2 weeks ago, eventually making their way from Simi Valley all the way down to the Mexican border. By the time the fires were under control, more than 1,000 homes had been destroyed. 16 fires had spread to more than 400 square miles in 7 counties, and there were more than 500,000 evacuees, making the evacuation effort about half the size of the New Orleans area after Hurricane Katrina. More than 6 fire-related deaths were reported.
Defense Secretary Robert Gates raised the possibility of cutting U.S. troop levels in Iraq to 100,000 by the end of next year, surpassing the president's cuts. Surpassing the cuts the president has already approved. Although many in Congress have pushed hard for big reductions to bring the war to a conclusion, it was the first time a member of Bush's war cabinet has publicly suggested such intense cutbacks. Gates said that conditions in Iraq could improve enough to the advantage of a substantial troop reduction than what are currently scheduled for 2008. Bush announced that he approved a plan recommended by General David Petraeus, the top U.S. commander in Iraq, to reduce troop levels from the current 20 combat brigades to 15 brigades by July. Gates said it was too early for Petraeus or others to predict with confidence any additional cuts. The Defense Secretary confirmed that he was referring to the possibility of cutting from the level of 15 combat brigades in July to the 10 brigades at the end of 2008, and that would translate to roughly 1,000 troops.
The Santa Anas roared through Southern California for a day and a half, but didn't take long for fires to combust in the Corral area and Latigo canyons of Malibu. The Corral fire erupted shortly before 3:30 a.m. Saturday and quickly grew before the winds died down. The fires have destroyed 53 homes and damaged 27 others. The Corral fire is believed to be the most destructive in the area in the past 15 years. Investigators determined that the fire, which broke out along a dirt road, was caused by human activity, but unsure if it was started intentionally. As much as 14,000 people have been evacuated. 7 firefighters suffered minor injuries battling on the blaze. On Sunday, the weather worked in firefighters' favor. A cool breeze in from the Pacific Ocean kept temperatures low and moisture levels high. The fire that has scorched 4,720 acres was about 70% contained, with full containment expected today.
After authorities determined that a large fire north of Mission Viejo was intentionally set, they began to interview people about possible suspects. Officials closed canyon roads and searched the ruins for clues. A separate fire in Riverside County was also found to be intentional. At least 2 people in San Bernardino and Los Angeles have been arrested on suspicion of arson.
Getting a license could be a whole lot tougher. California is considering using a pilot program to evaluate a driver's memory, reflexes, and vision to identify who should not be driving. Nothing has changed just yet, but a small portion of DMV offices across the state are running this program to monitor elderly drivers. If the program goes well, California residents may see the new tests put in place by the year 2012.
There are civil organizations whose tasks are to maintain public order, such as the police. However, can you imagine there are researchers who spy on people in public restrooms called the hand-washing police? Well, it's true, and they're on the prowl. According to their latest stakeout, 1/3 of men didn't bother to wash after using the bathroom, compared with 12% of women. They reported their latest findings Monday at a meeting of infectious diseases. Their latest study was based on observations last month of more than 6,000 people in 4 big cities. Frequent hand washing is the single best thing people can do to avoid getting sick from colds and flu to germs lurking in food, doctors say. Researchers for the American Society for Microbiology found that only 77% actually did wash their hands after using a public restroom. That is a 6% decline from a similar study done back in 2005. A friendly suggestion is to carry sanitizer gels and wipes in case they are needed.
Well, $6 billion of subprime adjustable rate mortgage loans have some 2 million homeowners in trouble. Mortgage loans given to home buyers with poor credit are due to reset at a higher amount during the coming months. This could leave many people forced out of their homes and many in the housing industry out of work. Financial service occupations related to credit and lending in the U.S. have already been affected. Taking a twist in entertainment business, the writers' strike continues in a dispute, and according to officials, this could end up affecting the region's economy. A potential loss could rise over $20 million a day in direct production spending if the writers' strike were to last till next month. It has now been over 3 weeks since thousands of TV and film writers marched along Hollywood Boulevard. Film LA President Steve McDonald said, quote, "If the strike continues, it's going to have a huge impact on the local economy and middle class jobs, end quote. And this could cause the loss of 1,500 jobs. The entertainment industry accounts for almost 7% of Los Angeles County's multi-billion-dollar economy. And lastly, guess what time it is? It's holiday shopping season, and it is in full swing. Many consumers are worried of spending themselves into debt this year. Robert Manning, author and insider to Consumer Financial Services, said, quote, "They can feel that a recession may be coming," end quote. According to the Federal Reserve, consumers' debt rose from $3.7 billion in September to $2.48 trillion last year.
Your health record may be available online soon. Microsoft announced its new program Thursday in Washington called Health Vault, which would allow patients to manage their own health record on the web. Microsoft says personal information is secured in an encrypted database and privacy controls are set entirely by the individual. Major health organizations already collaborated with Health Vault, including American Heart Association, Johnson & Johnson, and MedStar Health. What does a coin and a television have in common? The answer is their depth. The latest and greatest in television is Sony's new TV called XEL1, which is just 3 millimeters thick, about the same as a coin. This new toy uses a new light-emitting display technology that is based on electroluminescent organic materials for an even better picture than today's plasma screens. This TV is set to be available in Japan on December 1st for $1,700. There's still no word as to when it will be available in the US.